It's winter, and I'm finding myself increasingly preoccupied with something. It started out as an observation. The white fur on my black pants, the white fur on my black coat, as well as the ever-present white fur on the rugs, on the furniture. Because I love my cat, his shedding took a while to develop into a real annoyance. But this copious and relentless shedding has finally triggered my sense of a mission. I've been determined to find out whether this useless, exasperating fur could be made, well, useful. Not should be made useful. That's another question, often posed by those allergic to cat fur. But could be made useful. And, well, the answer is yes. As with most things, if there's a will, there is a way. Also, by the way, it turns out that cat fur can even bring people together.
I had this cat that I actually got when my kids were little, and her name was Sue Ellen. She was a really sweet cat with long hair, and she used to love when I would brush her, and I did a lot of hair, and it was beautiful. And so rather than just discard it, I started collecting it in a bag.
And Jerry and I had known each other for, oh gosh, probably 10 years before that.
At work.
At work. And I mentioned spinning wool, and he said, well, I have this cat. And he said, I brush her all the time, and have you ever spun cat fur? And I said, no, but...
Carol said she could make, she would give it a try. It.
So
yeah.
he brought me like 6 or 8 bags full of wool, and of cat fur rather. And so I just played with it for a while, and I ended up spinning enough to make a couple pillows for them.
This gives a good portrayal actually of Sue Ellen's color.
Yeah.
It was gray just like that.
Then I had a little bit left over, so I made this one, and the white is Angora rabbit fur, and then the gray is Sue Ellen fur also.
I've had these pillows now for about 20 years, and they're in my room where their computers are. I never fail to think of Sue Ellen when I look over at the pillows. And also, now I think about Carol.
Basically, to use cat fur, most people I think just use what they brush off the cat when they do their daily grooming with the cat. This cat fur was brushed, and it's beautiful, beautiful cat fur. It's nice and clean. This is ready to spin. The hair isn't hugely long. It's probably about 1 inch. Some of it is a little bit longer than that. We'll try it and see if we can spin it, but it does not need any more processing than what we have right here. This fur, on the other hand, was cut, actually, shorn from a cat, and you can see the blunt edges. I don't think that will make any difference in the processing of the wool. Also, this fur has not a huge amount of debris, but you can see small pieces of debris in it. To wash fur, just get a basin of lukewarm water, some non-rinse soap, and then just lower the cat fur into it and just very, very gently kind of pat it through the water for a couple of minutes, and then lift it out very gently, put it on a towel, and then pat it dry, and then just let it completely air dry. Once you have your hair processed, then you can go on to carding it. Just pull it down here, and you take your second carder, so you just pull it down, and all you're doing with carding is just straightening out the fibers and putting them parallel. Then once you feel like they're straight enough, and you pull them off one card onto the other, so that everything's on one card. And then I just take it from the edges and roll it into a roll. And then this little bundle is ready to try to spin. You just loosely hold your roll egg in your hand, start your wheel, I'm putting a fairly tight spin on this because the fur hair was so short. Okay. If you want to blend the wools, just take some regular wool, and I'm going to use this darker hair to blend with it. Okay, and it's the same process. Pull it through until you're satisfied with how your wool looks. And again, just roll it into a rolag. Same thing. See, I can pull out much slower because of that wool, but we still have that beautiful cat hair in there. I didn't use really that much fur at all in blending. It was probably no more than a 30-70 blend. Just enough so that you can actually see that cat fur in there. I have 2 spindles of yarn here, and they will be plied together and twisted together to make one single yarn. There we go. Let me just stop this just for a minute to see what it looks like. Beautiful. I would knit that up in a heartbeat. And I think this turned out gorgeous. I would love to make a whole pile of this yarn. It's beautiful. Hi. You know, last time I saw you, you allowed me to take your kitty's fur home with me, and I blended it with some wool and I plied it and came up with about 34-35 yards of kitty cat wool blended yarn for you. Now that we have it, I think that we should try and knit it up into something. We're going to make a little heart. Okay, so it'll be a love present.